If there was a ranking for students who minded their business the hardest, I, Do-hyun, would be king, emperor, supreme overlord. I went to school, took notes, avoided eye contact, and dreamed of a peaceful life where my biggest problem was whether the cafeteria still had kimbap left by lunch. But life hates me. Please, before I continue, support this channel by hitting the subscribe button. Also like and comment your favorite part of my story. Thank you. 3 months ago, my dad's business crashed, and suddenly I was stuck working part-time. Not just any part-time job, no. I couldn't have been blessed with stacking boxes in a warehouse or flipping pancakes in a diner. No. I had to end up working at Sugar Pop Cafe, where the uniform was a fluffy pastel maid outfit, complete with a heart-shaped apron, thigh-high socks, and a ribbon choker that jingled. Every time the bell above the door rang, a part of my soul disintegrated. Do-hyun, table 3 wants your special sweet boy smile. My manager beamed at me with the enthusiasm of a man who wasn't slowly killing my dignity. I don't smile, I groaned. You do today. So I trudged over to table 3, convinced today would be as usual, a parade of adults who needed therapy instead of dessert. The bell chimed again. I didn't bother looking. Who cared? My life couldn't get worse. Then I heard the voice. Smooth. Friendly in the way that makes you suspicious. Is this place always pink? My entire spine straightened. I knew that voice. Everyone knew that voice. It belonged to the school's golden boy, and by golden boy, I mean the student who somehow had flawless grades, perfect manners, and fangirls who'd fight wars for his attention. Juan. The student council president. The boy who smiled too easily, walked too confidently, and had the terrifying aura of someone who could ruin your life politely. I froze, eyes wide, heart screaming, no, 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 no. He was scanning the room, confused but amused. And then, like the universe enjoyed watching me suffer, his gaze landed on me. He blinked. I blinked. He blinked again. I wished the cafe would explode. Do-hyun? He asked at the exact same time the ribbon on my choker jingled like a cat toy. I had 2 options. 1, run. 2, deny my identity and claim I was his identical cousin from Busan. Instead, I dropped the tray I was holding. On my foot. I yelped, collapsing to the floor in a heap of frilly fabric in pain. He rushed over instantly. Oh my God, are you okay? Do you need help? No. I screamed louder than intended. Don't look at me. I'm already looking at you. I whimpered. He crouched and his face came closer, and suddenly I noticed something terrifying. Juan wasn't laughing. He wasn't mocking me. He looked stunned. A little too stunned. And his eyes were practically sparkling. You look cute. I died. I actually died. Someone call my ancestors. I am not cute, I hissed, trying to hide behind the tray. You are, he said, leaning in like this was a confession scene in a drama. And this outfit, wow. My soul evacuated my body. Before I could react, he pulled out his phone. Let me take a picture. What? No. Click. Juan. Delete it. Delete it right now. He pocketed his phone. No. I grabbed onto his sleeve desperately. Please? He just smiled, soft, sweet, and slightly dangerous. That depends. On what? On how nice you are to me starting tomorrow. I stared at him. Blink. Blink. You're blackmailing me? I whispered, horrified. Blackmail is an ugly word, he said casually. I prefer motivation. I groaned. Loudly. Then he leaned closer, lowering his voice to something that made me forget my own name. Besides, he murmured, I'm not planning to use the photo for anything bad. My heart thumped dangerously. Then why keep it? His eyes softened. Because I want to. What does that mean? What does that mean? Before I could scream again, the manager announced, in the worst timing known to mankind. Do-hyun, your break is over. Be cute. Be cute. In front of Juan. I contemplated quitting life entirely. Juan stood up gracefully, smiled at me like I belonged to him, and said, See you tomorrow? Do-hyun. The way he said my name? Illegal. Too smooth. Too intimate. Too much. As he walked out, I dropped to my knees, grabbed the nearest plushy decoration, and screamed into it. My secret wasn't just discovered. It was held hostage by the most popular boy in school. And tomorrow? Tomorrow I had to face him. If there is one thing I, Do-hyun, strongly believe in, it's this. Avoid the popular people. They bring drama. Drama brings pain. Pain brings stress pimples. Which is why the next morning I woke up with a stress pimple. Right on my forehead. Perfect. I dragged myself to school like a condemned prisoner being marched to his execution. The halls were buzzing as usual, girls giggling, boys yelling, teachers pretending not to be tired of life. Nothing out of the ordinary. Until I turned the corner and saw him, Juan, leaning casually against my locker like some action movie second male lead about to ruin my peaceful existence. Students walked by, gawking like they were witnessing an idol fan meet. He spotted me immediately. He grinned. I panicked. I did a swift 90-degree turn to abort mission and flee, but Juan grabbed the back of my collar with inhuman reflexes. "No running from me," he said, voice too cheerful for someone committing emotional murder. I wasn't running, I lied. I was relocating. Emichim. Adorable. I froze. "Don't call me. Aren't you forgetting something?" He tapped his phone in his pocket. The photo. The cursed, humiliating, soul-destroying photo. I deflated like a dying balloon. "What do you want?" He leaned in. Too close. Way too close. I could smell his cologne, fresh, warm, expensive, the kind that announces, "This boy has his life figured out." "I thought we could walk to class together," he said. "Why?" "Because I want to." "That's not a reason." "It is for me." I wanted to scream. Instead, I shuffled beside him like a kidnapped puppy while the entire student body stared at us like we were the latest school gossip deluxe edition. We walked 3 meters before he spoke again. "Oh, and from now on," he said casually, "sit next to me." I choked on air. "What?" "No." He raised an eyebrow. "You mean you want me to post the photo?" "No." "Then sit." I wanted to cry. When we got to class, my classmates reacted exactly how I expected. Jaws dropped. Whispers flew. Someone actually fainted. Okay, maybe not, but she did sway dramatically. Juan pulled out the chair beside him and patted it like he was inviting a cat onto a cushion. I sank into it with the defeated energy of someone who had accepted his tragic fate. Class began. Or rather, class tried to begin because how was I supposed to focus when the guy beside me kept doing weird things? First, he scooted his chair closer. Then closer. Then closer. By the time his arm brushed mine, I was vibrating like a microwave on high. "Why are you so tense?" he whispered. "Because you're invading my personal space." "I'm not invading. I'm visiting." "What does that even mean?" He chuckled. Actually chuckled. Like seeing me flustered was the highlight of his day. Halfway through the lesson he leaned in again. "Hey." I refused to look. "No. You don't even know what I'm going to say. It's never good." He laughed softly. "I just wanted to check something." He reached out and touched my forehead lightly. I froze. "You really do have a pimple," he said. My soul left my body. "Stop observing me so closely." "But I like looking at you." I malfunctioned. Fear. Panic. Confusion. Romance. No. Absolutely not. Illegal. Unapproved. The girl sitting behind us squealed quietly. Someone else whispered, "Are they dating?" Another whispered back, "No way, Do-hyun is too shy." A third added, "But Juan looks so into him." I wanted to crawl into a hole and never emerge. When lunch came, I dashed out of the classroom for freedom and ran directly into Juan's chest. Oof. He steadied me by the shoulders. "Where do you think you're going?" "Far away from you." "That's not happening. Sit with me for lunch." "Why?" "Because I want to." I threw my hands in the air. "Do you want everything?" He smiled softly. "Not everything. Just you." He tilted his head innocently. "Did I say something shocking?" You. I couldn't form words. I could only squeak. At the cafeteria, he placed my tray next to his like it was normal for the school president and a background character to dine together. Everyone stared. Again. Whispered. Again. "Can you stop making me a public spectacle?" I muttered. He rested his chin on his hand, watching me with a gentle, annoyingly fond expression. "I like being around you." There it was again. Affection disguised as blackmail. Or blackmail disguised as affection. I didn't know anymore. But when he walked me home after school, despite me loudly protesting the whole way, and he quietly said, "Don't avoid me tomorrow," I somehow knew I wouldn't be able to. Even if I wanted to. Even if I should. Because no matter how chaotic he was, Juan's warmth was dangerously hard to resist. There are many things in life that are confusing. Texas. Why adults like black coffee. The existence of pineapple on pizza. But the most confusing of all? Juan. The student council president. The golden boy. the menace to my sanity. Ever since he discovered my secret cafe job and acquired the photo, he had turned my life into a chaotic rom-com I didn't agree to star in. And by day 3 of this nightmare, I realized one horrifying truth. He wasn't stopping. At all. That morning, I crept into school like a thief trying to break in without setting off alarms. My mission: reach my seat without encountering the walking heart attack known as Juan. I stuck to the walls, ninja style. Slid behind pillars. Tiptoed. And for a moment, just a moment, I thought I had succeeded. Until a warm hand landed on my shoulder. "Good morning, Do-hyun," I screamed internally. "Juan," I said slowly, "how did you sneak up on me?" "I didn't." He smiled. "You just walk very quietly. Because I was trying to avoid." He tilted his head. "Avoid what?" I swallowed. Pigeons? Cute." He grinned, clearly not buying it. Before I could escape, he held out a lunchbox. "I made this." I blinked. "For you." "For you." He pushed it into my hands like it was the most natural thing. "Eat with me later." "Juan, you don't have to." "I want to." There it was again. His irritating default answer that somehow made my chest do stupid flips. During class, because the universe hates me, Juan continued his new hobby of observing me intensely like I was his favorite show. He leaned over. "Your hair's messy." "I like it messy." He gently smoothed it down anyway. "Now it's cute." My heart, stop. My brain, self-destruct sequence initiated. My soul, goodbye world. He scooted closer. "Why are you moving away?" he asked. "Because you're too close." "But I like being close." "I don't." He smirked. "You say that, but your ears turn red every time." I slapped my hands onto my ears. "They're not red. They're very red." Someone behind us whispered, "He's flirting so hard." Someone else whispered, "Do-hyun looks like he's about to explode." Both statements were correct. After class, Juan grabbed my wrist. "Study session." "Library." "No." "Yes." "You can't force." He tapped his pocket. "Right. The photo. The curse. My downfall." I sighed in defeat. "Fine." We sat in a quiet corner of the library, and for 10 minutes we actually studied. Peacefully. Quietly. Until he asked, "Do you like anyone?" I choked so violently the librarian glared at me. Why are you asking that?" "I'm curious." "Well, don't be." He rested his chin on his hand. "What about me? What about you? Do you like me?" I short-circuited. Again. "No. Absolutely not. Never." He nodded thoughtfully. "You're lying." I gasped. "I am not lying." "You are." "How do you know?" "Because," he said softly, leaning impossibly close, "you look at me like I matter to you." My brain blue-screened. 1 hour later, I discovered Juan had more tricks. "Let's go," he said suddenly. "Where?" "Date." "What?" "No. Absolutely not." "Fine." He shrugged. "It's not a date. It's you paying me back." "For what?" "Existing near me." I gaped. "That's not how debt works." "Works for me." I died. Again. He dragged me to a convenience store and bought snacks I didn't ask for. Then we walked through the park while he kept glancing at me like he was memorizing my face. It was warm. Dangerously warm. And when he handed me a drink, opening the cap for me like I was some princess, I realized something horrifying. I liked it. I liked him being close. I liked his teasing. I liked his stupid smile. I cut that thought off. No. Absolutely not. Illegal romance. Things might have ended peacefully. But peace never lasts around Juan. A group of seniors suddenly walked by, snickering. "Isn't that the maid boy?" My stomach dropped. Juan froze. His entire expression shifted. Calm, cold, terrifying. "What did you say?" he asked, voice flat. The seniors faltered. "And nothing." "Repeat it," he said. They didn't. Probably because Juan took one step forward, and the air itself felt dangerous. "You don't get to talk about him," he said quietly. "Not like that." The seniors backed off and practically ran away. My heart was pounding, but for a completely different reason. "Juan," I whispered. He turned to me, expression softening instantly. "Don't let them bother you," he said. "They don't know anything." And then, because he apparently wanted to finish me off emotionally, he wiped a tear I didn't realize had fallen. "Don't cry. You're stronger than them." I stared at him, trembling. "Why are you saying all this?" I whispered. He hesitated. Then he cupped my cheek gently and said, "Because I don't pity you, Do-hyun." His thumb brushed my skin. "I like you." My heart stopped, then restarted violently, then tried to escape my chest entirely. "Ha, Juan?" I squeaked. He smiled softly. "Don't avoid me tomorrow." As if I could. As if I even wanted to anymore. Because somewhere between his blackmail, his affection, and his ridiculous charm, my resolve was crumbling. Fast. There are many ways a high school scandal can begin. A fight. A breakup. Someone stealing lunch from the principal's fridge. But mine started with a single, cursed ping. Ping. I was halfway through my morning cereal when my phone buzzed with 8 notifications at once. That was already suspicious. Nobody talks to me that much. I checked the screen. "Anonymous, is this you?" With an attached image. My blood ran cold. It was me. In the Sugar Pop Cafe uniform. Skirt. Choker. Ribbon. The whole nightmare package. Not the angle Juan took, though. This one was from outside the cafe window. And it wasn't just one message now. It was dozens. Dozens. "Anonymous, wow, maid boy." "Anonymous, I knew he was weird." "Anonymous, who's leaking these?" "Send more." My hand shook. My biggest fear, my worst nightmare, was happening. Someone else had taken photos. Someone else was leaking them. My secret wasn't just discovered. It was being weaponized. I ran to school so fast my lungs nearly collapsed. I didn't even change out of my hoodie. I looked like a panicked burrito. The moment I stepped through the gates, whispering began. "Oh my gosh, that's him? He's kinda cute though. Where did the president go? Isn't he always with him?" I tried to keep my head down, but the eyes burned. Every stare felt like a stab. Then, Do-hyun. I froze. Juan was running toward me, breathless, hair messy like he'd sprinted across the entire campus. He grabbed my shoulders gently. "Are you okay?" "No," I whispered. Who took those photos? How did they even?" Juan's jaw tightened. "I'm going to handle it." "Juan." He didn't wait. He took my wrist and pulled me through the hallway, straight to the student council room. He shut the door, locked it, turned to face me. For the first time since I met him. He looked angry. Really angry. "This isn't you," he said. "The one spreading the photos, they're trying to humiliate you. They're targeting you." My stomach twisted. "Why?" "Because I like you." I blinked. "Why is that the reason?" "Because people talk, Do-hyun. When the president becomes glued to someone, they want to know why." "Glued?" He stepped closer. "You haven't noticed?" His voice softened. "I follow you around. I tease you. I protect you. I show everyone you matter to me. Juan." And someone took that personally. Before I could respond, another notification pinged. I flinched. Juan saw it. His eyes darkened. He snatched my phone, scanned the message, then his entire expression transformed into something fierce. "No," he said quietly. "This ends now." 15 minutes later, hell broke loose. Because Juan walked into the cafeteria, packed with students, and climbed onto a chair like he was about to deliver a presidential speech. Everyone listened. The room fell silent instantly. Even the air froze. I stood by the door, trembling. Juan lifted his phone. "The photos circulating today," he said, voice steady, loud, proud, "are mine." What? Juan. "No. What are you doing?" Gasps erupted. He continued, ignoring the chaos. "I took them." His eyes scanned the room. "And I took them because I like him." The cafeteria exploded like someone dropped a literal bomb. I slammed my hands over my face. "I'm dying. I am actively dying." He kept going. He wasn't doing anything embarrassing. He was working hard, supporting himself, and anyone mocking him is pathetic. His tone sharpened. "I won't tolerate bullying. I won't tolerate rumors. And if anyone has an issue with him." He paused. "Deal with me." Dead silence. Then whispers. "Oh my God. Did he just confess publicly? Wait, so the president is into him?" My knees were jelly. I felt faint. Juan stepped down, walked straight to me and held out his hand. "Come with me," he said softly. I took his hand. Mostly because my legs weren't functioning anymore. He led me outside where the air was quieter, gentler. The moment we were alone, I burst out. "Juan, what was that?" "That," he said proudly, "was me protecting you. By telling everyone you took the photos?" "Yes." "And saying you like me? In front of the entire school?" "Yes." "Juan, why?" He closed the distance between us. That way no one else gets blamed. And no one else thinks they discovered your secret. I made it clear the only person who saw you was me. My heart throbbed painfully. That doesn't fix everything, I whispered. No, he said. But it makes it clear you're not alone. My breath hitched. He lifted my chin gently. Do-hyun, he murmured, look at me. I did. Even though my heart felt like it was doing acrobatics. I didn't follow you around because of a photo, he said. I didn't tease you because it was fun. Then why? He gave me the softest, most genuine smile I'd ever seen on him. Because I fell for you a long time ago. Before the café. Before the photo. Before everything. My lips parted. You what? I like you, he whispered. I've liked you. I felt my face burn. My heart punched my ribs. Juan, I don't know how to. He leaned closer. Then don't answer. His forehead gently touched mine. Just let me try. And maybe it was the warmth in his eyes. Or the way my entire body melted against him. Or the fact that, despite everything, his confession made my heart feel lighter than it had in months. But I closed my eyes. And whispered. Okay. His breath hitched. Then he kissed me. Softly. Carefully. Like he'd been waiting forever. And maybe he had. And maybe I had been waiting too.